friends. Today I'm going to be reading a very special book. It is called Dogger by Shirley Hughes, and it is about a little boy and his stuffed animal, which is a little dog that he calls Dogger. Oh, and you can see my cat is trying to visit us today. You guys can say hello to Miss Belle. Hi Belle, you're interrupting the story. She really wants some attention right now, so you'll probably see her tail going in and out. That is not helpful, Miss Belle. Shoo! Shoo! Okay, anyway, there's a couple reasons why I wanted to read this story. Number one is that it is really, really cute. I think that the illustrations of the dog are really adorable. And second of all, there's a part in this story where the little boy Dave, he has a big sister named Bella, and she does something really amazing and really special and very, very kind in this book. So let's read the story and you can figure out what it is that Bella does. And I wanted to read it especially today because one of my friends, Josie, just became a big sister. So congratulations to Josie. This book isn't really about getting a new baby in your house, but it's about the amazing powers of kindness that a big sister can have. So this is called Dogger. There's Dave, and he's all cuddled up on his pillow with his doggie. Once there was a soft brown toy called Dogger. One of his ears pointed upwards and the other flopped over. His fur was worn in places because he was quite old. He belonged to Dave. Dave was very fond of Dogger. He took him everywhere. Sometimes he gave him rides in a trolley. Sometimes he pulled him along on a lead made of a string like a real dog. And when it was cold, he wrapped him up in a bit of blanket. Oh, so cute. Now and again, Dave's mom said that Dogger was getting much too dirty. She showed Dave how to wash him in a bowl of soapy water, and then she hung him up by his tail on the clothesline to get dry. Dave's baby brother Joe liked hard toys. He liked putting them in his mouth and biting on them because he was still getting his teeth. Dave's big sister Bella took 7 teddy bears to bed with her every night. She had to sleep right up against the wall to stop herself from falling out. But Dave only liked Dogger. Look at how full his big sister's bed is of teddy bears. She has a teddy bear collection. One afternoon, Dave and Mum set out to collect Bella from school. Mum took Joe in his pushchair, that's his stroller, and Dave took Dogger. Next to the school gate where the mums waited was a playing field. Some men with ladders were putting up colored flags. Mum said there was going to be a summer fair to get money to buy things for the school. Dave pushed Dogger up against the railings to show him what was going on. So there's Dave. Oh, let's see. I kind of have to turn it a little bit. He's trying to show Dogger what's happening on the other side of the gate. Just then, children started coming out of the school. An ice cream van came around the corner playing a tune. Bella ran up with her satchel flying. "Mum, can we have an ice cream?" Mum gave her money for 2 cones. Joe didn't have a whole ice cream to himself because he was too dribbly. So there's the family and his big sister saying, "Hey, let's go get some ice cream." On the way home, Dave walked beside the pushchair, giving licks of his ice cream to his brother Joe. Joe kicked his feet about and shouted for more in between licks. Yum, yum, yum. At tea time, Dave was rather quiet. In the bath, he was even quieter. At bedtime, he said, "I want Dogger." But Dogger was nowhere to be found. Uh-oh. Mum looked under the bed. She looked behind the cupboard. She searched in the kitchen. And underneath the stairs, Dave watched anxiously through the banisters. Joe watched through the bars of his crib. They're searching the house for Dogger. Bella joined in looking for Dogger. She turned out her own toy box in case he was in there, but he wasn't. When Dad came home, he looked for Dogger too. He searched in the shed and down in the garden with a flashlight. There he is. They're searching the house. But Dogger was quite lost. Dave was very sad when he went to bed. Bella kindly lent him one of her teddies to go to sleep with, but it was not the same thing as Dogger. Dave kept waking up in the night and missing him. It'd be pretty sad to go to sleep without your favorite stuffed animal. The next day was Saturday, and they all went to the school summer fair. The playing field was full of stalls and sideshows. Look at that, it's like a big carnival. There's games and activities to do. There was a fancy dress parade. Everybody came in costumes. And there were sports. There was an egg and spoon race. That's where you have to balance an egg on your spoon and try and walk without dropping it. And a wheelbarrow race. That's where you carry your friend's legs. And there was a father's race to see who was the fastest dad. Bella was very good at races. She even won the three-legged race with her friend Barbara. Look, they do a three-legged race by tying their feet together, and they each run with one leg, and they have to move these feet at the same time with their arms around each other's shoulders to make it look like they have 3 legs. It's very tricky. "Wouldn't you like to go in for a race?" they asked Dave. But Dave didn't feel like racing. He was missing Dogger too much. Oh, look at poor Dave's face. Then another very exciting thing happened to Bella. She won first prize in the raffle. And look what she got. So that's when they pick a ticket, and she got the winning ticket. She got a huge yellow teddy bear wearing a beautiful blue silk bow. He was almost as big as Dave. Dave didn't like that teddy at all. At the moment, he didn't like Bella very much either because she kept on winning things. He went off on his own to look at the stalls. Look at all the things on all the different tables. One lady had a toy stall full of knitted ducks and cars and baby dolls and bonnets. And there, at the very back of the stalls, behind a lot of other toys, was Dogger. He was wearing a ticket that said 50 pence. There were a lot of people around the stall. Dave tried to explain to the lady that it was his Dogger who had got lost and somehow been put on this stall by mistake, but she wasn't listening. Dave looked in his pocket. He had 3 pence, but that wasn't enough. He ran to find Mom and Dad to ask them to buy Dogger back at once. Dave went everywhere in the crowd, but he couldn't see Mom and Dad. He thought he was going to cry. At last he found Bella by the cakes. When she heard about Dogger, she and Dave ran back to this toy stall as fast as they could. There he is telling his sister, "Come quickly." But then something terrible just happened. Dogger had been bought by a little girl. She was already walking off with him. Dave began to cry. Bella ran after her and tried to explain that Dogger really belonged to Dave and could they please buy him back. But the little girl said, no. She said that she had bought Dogger with her own money and she wanted him. She held on to him very tightly. He says, "I just picked this dog all by myself. I'm not going to give him up." Dave cried and cried. And the little girl started to cry too. Oh no, they're fighting over the dog and she doesn't understand why. Then, out of the corner of her eye, she caught sight of Bella's big yellow teddy bear. She stopped crying and put out her hand to stroke the beautiful blue silk bow. Oh my, look at Dave. He's very, very upset. Then Bella did something very kind. "Would you trade this teddy for my brother's dog then?" she asked. Right away the little girl stopped crying and began to smile. She held out Dogger to Dave and then took the big teddy instead and went off with him in her arms. Then Dave smiled too. So they switched. So now she has the bear and Dave got Dogger back. He hugged Dogger and then he hugged Bella around the waist. "Thank you, Bella," he said. That night, Dave had Dogger in bed beside him. Bella was practicing somersaults. "Shall you miss that big teddy bear?" Dave asked her. "No," said Bella. "I didn't like him very much, really. He was too big and his eyes were too staring. And anyway, if I had another teddy bear in my bed, there wouldn't be room for me." There she is, doing somersaults on her bed. I bet she would have still liked that teddy bear for her collection. But she knew a new bear was not as important as getting Dogger back. And they went to sleep. Bella in bed with all her teddies, and Dave curled up with Dogger. It felt so good to get Dogger back. All right, friends, I hope you enjoyed that story. And I want to again say a very big congratulations to our new big sister in our group, Josie. I love you. Can't wait to meet your baby brothers. And I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.